Whenever I'm teaching people about body language, this question is invariably asked. Joe, what got you interested in studying nonverbal behavior in the first place? It wasn't something I had planned to do, nor was it the result of some long-term fascination with the topic. It was much more down-to-earth than that. It was an interest born of necessity, the need to adapt successfully to a totally new way of life. When I was 8 years old, I came to America as an exile from Cuba. We left just a few months after the Bay of Pigs invasion, and we honestly thought we would be here only for a short while as refugees. Unable to speak English at first, I did what thousands of other immigrants coming to this country have done. I quickly learned that to fit in with my new classmates at school, I needed to be aware of and sensitive to the other language around me, the language of nonverbal behavior. I found that was a language I could translate and understand immediately. In my young mind, I saw the human body as a kind of billboard that transmitted, advertised, what a person was thinking via gestures, facial expressions, and physical movements that I could read. Over time, obviously, I learned English, and even lost some skill with the Spanish language. But the nonverbals, I never forgot. I discovered at an early age that I could always rely on nonverbal communications. I learned to use body language to decipher what my classmates and teachers were trying to communicate to me and how they felt about me. One of the first things I noticed was that students or teachers who genuinely liked me would raise or arch their eyebrows when they first saw me walk into the room. On the other hand, those individuals who weren't too friendly toward me would squint their eyes slightly when I appeared, a behavior that once observed is never forgotten. I used this nonverbal information, as so many other immigrants have, quickly to evaluate and develop friendships, to communicate despite the obvious language barrier, to avoid enemies, and in nurturing healthy relationships. Many years later, I would use these same nonverbal eye behaviors to solve crimes as a special agent at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. In the blink of an eye. Eye blocking is a nonverbal behavior that can occur when we feel threatened and/or don't like what we see. Squinting, as in the case with my classmates described previously, and closing or shielding our eyes are actions that have evolved to protect the brain from seeing undesirable images and to communicate our disdain toward others. As an investigator, I used eye-blocking behaviors to assist in the arson investigation of a tragic hotel fire in Puerto Rico that claimed 97 lives. A security guard came under immediate suspicion because the blaze broke out in an area where he was assigned. One of the ways we determined he had nothing to do with starting the fire was by asking him some very specific questions as to where he was before the fire, at the time of the fire, and whether or not he set the fire. After each question, I observed his face for any telltale signs of eye block behavior. His eyes blocked only when questioned about where he was when the fire started. Oddly, in contrast, he did not seem troubled by the question, "Did you set the fire?" This told me the real issue was his location at the time of the fire, not his possible involvement in setting the fire. He was questioned further on this topic by the lead investigators and eventually admitted to leaving his post to visit his girlfriend, who also worked at the hotel. Unfortunately, while he was gone, the arsonist entered the area he should have been guarding and started the fire. In this case, the guard's eye-blocking behavior gave us the insight we needed to pursue a line of questioning that eventually broke the case open. In the end, 3 arsonists responsible for the tragic blaze were arrested and convicted of the crime. The security guard, while woefully negligent and burdened with tremendous guilt, was not, however, the culprit. Based on my background, education, and training, I want to teach you how to see the world as an FBI expert on nonverbal communication views it.